Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Congressman from the 2nd Congressional District, Brett Guthrie. Brett.
Thank you very much. It is great to be here. It's nice. I'm glad we enlarged this room a few years back, so it looks like we need to make it bigger. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and I was just talking with my good friend Trey Grayson, who I had the opportunity to serve with since he came to Frankfort in 2003. And I'll tell you, there's not anyone that is smarter, more articulate, and a better person to represent the values of our party. And I really look forward to the opportunity in some capacity somewhere down the road to serve with Trey again. I'm sure that we'll see him again. I appreciate that. I'll be fairly brief, but I want to say this. I decided to run for Congress. I had a young family and decided what it would do to my family if I ran for Congress and serve in Washington. My wife and I began talking about what could we do for our children. Because at that time we had a $400 billion budget deficit. And I was concerned about that and about what it was going to do to my kids' future. This year we're going to have a $1.4 trillion. The $400 billion is now the decimal point on the budget deficit that is going forward this year. All the nonpartisan study groups in Washington says it's unsustainable, that we cannot continue down this path. The president has produced a budget that says we're going to double the national debt in the next 5, triple it in 10. The House of Representatives just said that they're probably not going to pass the majority. The Democrat majority is not going to pass a budget this session. Now, it's different, and the reason is they don't want to telegraph how much money they're going to be spending over the next 10 years. It's different than it is here in Frankfort. It's not that they're not going to spend money. They're just not going to lay out how much money they're going to spend because they don't want to put their name on a staggering, unsustainable debt that's what's moving forward. Several years ago, it was probably 15 or 16 years ago, I was at a Warren County Republican Party meeting, and a young doctor who just came to town, came and spoke to our group, said he was starting a new group called Kentucky Taxpayers United, and gave the message that we need to have limited government and we can't spend more than we're taking in. And he started Kentucky Taxpayers United. I can tell you the whole time and when I was running for office, he did the Kentucky Taxpayers Pledge, that you would pledge candidates to pledge to not raise taxes. While I was in Frankfort, he monitored, he scored, he kept moving forward. So his life's work's been serving people through his medical practice and through the volunteer stuff that he does with his medical practice. He really has been his life work to serving people. But his political life's work, or since I've known him, has been about ensuring that we don't spend more than we take in because it puts our children and our grandchildren in a very difficult position. And a guy named Frank Lutz said he's been doing focus meetings. And he walks around the room and he says, I want you to raise your hand, and I could do it here, but I won't do it. Raise your hand if you feel like you live a better life than your parents lived. You have a better standard of living than your parents. And raise your hand if you think your children will have the same standard of living. He says, for the first time he's been asking that question, people are starting to drop their hands. Because the vision of a better America for a lot of people, for their children, or a better future, has been diminished because of the staggering debt that we're facing. And I will tell you, in this election, the choice is clear. It's very clear. As we saw with the health care vote, one vote in the Senate makes a difference. One vote in the Senate makes a difference. And the vote today, the vote we will face this November, do we want to continue on a path of unsustainable spending or send an articulate and dedicated, a person who lives it every day, member of the Senate that will change that? And I believe the citizens of Kentucky want to change that, and we will do that in November by sending Dr. Paul to the U.S. Senate. Thank you very much.